Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
You need to do the hard things in order to be happy, healthy, and successful. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the hard things ultimately build you up and can change your life. I kid you not, as a coach, consultant or small to medium business that you are right now, you literally need to work twice as hard to get half of the things that you aspire for. And not a lot of people would want to hear that, whatever they're doing is not going to, give them instant gratification. And that's not their fault, because many people often take the easy way out. I mean, out of just about everything in their life. They take the easy way out of their health. They take the easy way out of their wealth, their relationships, their spiritual engagement. They take the easiest way out of their growth, especially of the mindset kind, Everybody wants to just take shortcuts in life. And oftentimes, they end up living a life that is mediocre at the very least. And the reason why that is because they don't want to apply themselves and actually do work that matters. So I'm here to tell you, since you are now an internet explorer, which is what we call people that have subscribed to the Online Prosperity Experience, and if you haven't done that, please do. All right, where we, talk to you about actually doing the hard things in life that will actually yield the results that you're after. So like I was saying, a lot of people want to take shortcuts, and it's not their fault. They've grown up in a situation where everything has been handed to them and the playgrounds have gotten softer. I kid you not, man. I grew up in Africa where we were playing with sticks and stones as our toys, and I know a lot of people cannot fathom that. They would think, so with the sticks painted or with the stones properly cleaned? No, we're digging them out by our own fingers, and we would go for days, trying to build our own forts and our own little caves just so that we could actually get a full day's play in it. And then all the bigger boys would come bully us and destroy whatever we would have built. And in this day and age, that would probably be a police case or some sort of social media upheaval. But we just get over it and learn to deal with it, because that's just how life was. And nowadays, a lot of people just want the easy way out because convenience has been commoditized. You know what I mean? They want to take shortcuts in life. They want to take shortcuts in building a business that's profitable and enjoyable. I'm here to tell you that it don't work like that. Okay, it doesn't work like that. If you need and want to live a happier existence or a much more fulfilling life, you really need to apply yourself. And let me tell you something. A new idea, probably the best idea that you want to follow, is to do the hard things in life instead. When you find everybody else trying to do it cheaper, better, faster, or finding a shortcut, find out why they need to do a shortcut, whether it comes to their health or their wealth or their relationships, and find out if there's a way to actually make it stick, if there's a way to actually make you earn that thing that you're looking for. Because whenever somebody's given something for free or they didn't actually extend themselves to work for it, guess what happens? They don't appreciate that. So would you want health that you don't appreciate, or would you want to lose weight and equally gain it all over again just because you followed some fad diet which did all the work for you without you actually applying yourself? And that's the reason why a lot of people are leading mediocre lives, leading mediocre businesses out there, or just following any Me Too trend and not actually getting results that are actually helpful. Okay, you need to actually start making a choice to do the hard things in life instead. I made a choice, especially me showing up on this podcast every single day for 30 minutes. If I come across a topic that is near and dear to me, I want to talk about it on this podcast just so I can parlay to you, ways that will help you create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And in the process, I'm doing the hard thing by making sure that I'm consistent. I'm doing the hard thing by making sure that I deliver quality content just so that, you can also learn from that. Okay, and I want you to start making a choice. And this actually means making decisions to do things that other people are not willing to do. What in your industry can you do that anybody else is not willing to do? How can you, identify your market in such a way that they identify themselves as the people that actually want to work with you because you've done the work, you've done the hard things. Hard things are what are celebrated in the marketplace. Nobody ever celebrates something that can be done cheaper, better, faster. Okay, people want to see sweat, people want to see tears, and that's the kind of stuff that people actually appreciate and pay really good money for within the marketplace. So if you just do what everybody else is willing to do, you just become a has-been or yet another person that has showed up in the industry. And yes, you can, in the short period of time, gather a few clients, but they will soon catch you out that you haven't actually put in the work. And when you haven't put in the work, those people that are sharpening the axe, so to speak, are the people that will win the race at the end of the day. So be willing to do the hard things that other people are not willing to do, or the things that you've always avoided trying to do. That way you can live your best life possible. I mean, if you know my story a little bit, you would understand the reason why I'm really passionate about helping coaches and consultants and even small to medium business owners grow their business. Because you know what? I actually know what it means to come from nothing, okay? For those that are not well versed, if you're not yet an internet explorer, you would know that I was born in a small town in Zimbabwe in Africa called Chivu. And only up until 5 years ago did we have in our small town the first traffic light. Now, if you grew up seeing traffic lights where you are, can you imagine, 5 years ago being the first time a whole town got to see the first traffic light? So that meant growing up, life was pretty tough, okay? We didn't have a lot of money or hope that would actually amount to anything, and there was no one that we could look up to. Why? Everybody was just doing the mundane. Everybody was not going out of their way to actually become something of note. You know what I mean? So we didn't have any role models that could actually inspire me to want more, be more, and have more. And that for me changed, and this is the reason why I want to become a role model for those that don't have role models. What happened to me when I was 13 was I had a bright-eyed Australian teacher that came to work at my school, and she literally changed my perspective of what life was beyond that little town that I lived in. She told me all about Australia. She told me all the incredible opportunities that it had to offer, and also explained what she was doing. She was basically traveling the world doing what she loved, which meant that, you could go and work anywhere else in the world and you're not confined to your birthplace. Now, can you imagine how liberating that statement is? Just by itself, that there are unlimited destinations that you can go in the whole entire world and you can live and have a happier existence. That completely changed my life from that one traffic light, small town, to having this infinity of destinations and places that I could go. And I was then motivated to want more, be more, and have more. And voila, we're here today. And you, my internet explorer, I'm giving you that permission, that opportunity to open up your horizons to all the destinations that you can take yourself to, okay? And if you already feel like you're at the end of your rope today with maybe little slack left to hold on, realize that your mind is lying to you. It has imprisoned you by reciting all the self-defeating stories in your head. The self-defeating stories I had in my head was the people that were ahead of me, okay? Nobody wanted or was aspiring or was applying themselves to work any harder than what was expected of them. So I was imprisoned in this self-defeating stories that I'll just maybe be a doctor or a teacher or something that was usual within the small town that I was, brought up in. So it's all the stories about maybe the mistakes that the people in the older generation had made or what they could have done differently. And I actually started believing it until I saw this teacher who then taught me there's a whole nother world outside of my small town, and that I was alive in a world with infinite destinations. I want you to take a moment to just remind yourself of this fact. You are alive in a world that is filled with infinite destinations. Just go outside. Look up to the sky, the clouds, the stars. This is the world in which you really live in. Breathe it in. And then look at your current situation again. I kid you not. You haven't opened up your mind and your horizons as to what is possible for you. You are not applying yourself enough. There's a kid's song that says you put your whole self in, you put your whole self out, and then you turn around. That's what it's all about. Put your whole self in. There's a world with infinite possibilities for people who dream big and have the courage to follow those dreams. But you gotta do the hard things in order for you to be happy, healthy, successful, and have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. So obviously, back to my story. For the rest of my time in school, I worked my butt off just to learn as much as I could. And a few years later, in 2011, I jumped on a plane to Melbourne with nothing but a backpack full of hopes and dreams to get started on my life. All right? So many people are not applying themselves. So many people are not pushing themselves to do the hard things in order for them to actually grow as a person. Because what I did was I left everything that I knew behind. I left everyone that I knew behind. When I came to Australia, I had nothing but a backpack full of hopes and dreams. No connections, no alumni, nothing. So when you do the hard things, you will grow as a person. There's nothing more fulfilling than in life than growth. When you expand your knowledge, you expand your community, you expand yourself, you expand the people around you, the world you are in expands and you grow as a person. This is exactly why, animals keep moving. They're not bound to one habitat. They move around searching for food. They migrate. If you have seen the wildebeest migrating in the Serengeti, you will realize that, oh my God, the world is vast. You're just a figment of the spectrum of what is actually happening. You know what I mean? So right now, when was the last time you tried something new? When was the last time you actually tried to, really, really, really apply yourself? This could mean just trying a new restaurant in town. Even food that is, from a different culture you've never heard of. How many times do we experiment? I mean, obviously, because food is food and it, leads to instant gratification. It might not be a really good example, but so many people are not putting themselves out there in order to reach out to their audience, in order to create for and relate to the people they're going to be demanding money off of. Even in the town that you live in, have you ever actually gone through like a tour company or, sightseeing to see places in your city that you haven't seen before? That would open up your mind as to how many businesses are in your city, how many things are happening within that small city in and of itself. Because every street corner that you go to, if you just sit there, you will notice there's relationships that are happening. There's exchanges that are happening already. And you would not have seen that had you not put yourself in that position. Allow yourself to be accepting of people. Allow yourself to be accepting of places and things that are outside of your norm. And guess what happens? You apply yourself and you actually stretch yourself in so much a way that you learn new things. And when you learn new things, you open up yourself to a whole new world of ideas, innovations, and people that can actually put you in a position to start, scale, and grow a business that's profitable and enjoyable. It's not your fault. A lot of people are not doing the hard things out there. And the more you expand yourself, you become a better person. And when you become a better person, you become attractive to the right kind of people with the right kind of pain that want you to help them solve their problems. You become a better person. You become a better parent. You become a better brother. You become a better sister. And when you become a better person, people open up to you. And when people open up to you, you have conversations. And when you have conversations, guess what? People will get to know, like, and trust you. And people do business with those they know, like, and trust. You might think this is all too far-fetched, but everything is connected. If you want to become a better person, if you want to create a business that's profitable and enjoyable, you need to apply yourself and do the hard things. Because taking the easy way out allows you to just flow through life unnoticed and sometimes unfulfilled. What good are you if you're not helping other people, make their lives better? Because if nobody's noticing you, nobody's asking you to help them justify their failures. Nobody's asking you to encourage their dreams. Nobody's asking you to confirm their suspicions. Nobody's asking you to maybe ally with their fears. And nobody's asking you to throw rocks at their enemies. You are invisible. And within business, if you are not visible within business, you are as good as not even trading. Because our goal in business is to be seen by those that are looking for the services that we're looking for. Allow yourself to do the harder things in life because it helps you to become a better person. And there's a trickling effect. I've been trying to outline that within this whole podcast. Because extending a helping hand to those maybe who have hurt you or those who need your help is doing the hard thing. But you feel better about it. And you're definitely the better person for doing so. And once you start doing good things in your community and things of that nature, guess what happens? Good things, drive good energy. I mean, here's a story about when I was about 10 or 11 years old at my school back home in Zimbabwe. And, we used to put on shows or like a drama group. And I was asked to play the part of Cassius in the play Julius Caesar. For those that know, about Julius Caesar, you would understand, there was a lot of lines because Cassius was really close to Julius Caesar. I was a hopelessly timid kid. But somehow I landed the part of Cassius in the play Julius Caesar. And I didn't think I could learn hundreds of lines for the play. And I didn't even think I could get up on stage in front of an audience of people that hardly understood what I was saying. But I did. And playing that part changed my life again. So there's so many other moments when you do the hard things in life, your life changes because you assume the role that you're supposed to be taking on instead of just being the person who just goes through life unnoticed. And my teacher at that time gave me an opportunity to really stretch myself and to discover what I was truly capable of. And now we fast forward, to a generation when my children are now supposed to be showing up at some stage. And they're sort of about not the same age, but I went on to see my little girl perform at their end of year thing that they were doing, And when I went to see, when I go out to see their plays or whatever it is that they're doing, my kids are only asked maybe to learn 2 or 3 lines. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Oh, something that just gets them to participate and get a participation trophy or things of that nature. But you know what? I love that my kids are getting involved. But the problem here is that these schools no longer tries to stretch their students. Everybody gets a participation trophy. The playgrounds have gotten softer. And the students no longer have an opportunity to make really big, scary leaps in order for them to discover who they are. Because once you're given a role, you have to assume the character in that role. And in fact, these kids are going to go through their entire lives not knowing what they're capable of, not knowing what it means to do the hard work. And that's a tragedy. I mean, I'm talking about Julius Caesar, which was a tragedy in and of itself, but that's a tragedy. Now consider yourself. What goals have you set for your own coaching or consulting business? Are you trying really hard to stretch your goals or to stretch yourself? Are your goals big and scary? Are they audacious goals, or are you just playing it safe? Because if you're playing it safe, you'll never crash and burn. And neither will you discover just how much you can really achieve if you don't stretch yourself. My guess is you're capable of a whole lot more than you're doing right now. Crying and wishing the whole system was fair and that the scales were tipped towards you is a waste of everybody else's time and yours, to say the least. And I bet that you've set yourself some scary goals. You could achieve them, and have a heck of a lot of fun along the way. Let me tell you something about being wealthy. It's not about amassing money or anything else. It's about the person you become on the journey to become wealthy. My advice to you is stretch yourself. Like really, really stretch yourself. Because once you stretch yourself, all the marketing takes care of itself. Guess what happens? You stand out. Like all the time that I find myself stretching myself, doing more than is expected in a contract, going above and beyond in order to help my clients, be prosperous, I actually stand out and people dig that stuff. Let me tell you something, man. Many times people are avoiding helping or doing the task that nobody wants to do. A lot of people are avoiding the hard things. They are avoiding the hard conversations. If you don't become this person that avoids the hard things and instead you become one who chooses to take on a project or a task, that other people are not willing to do, this will help you stand out. I usually talk about the story of how I help my kids understand what standing out really means. Have you ever played the game of Tetris? Every time the line fits in, all right, or if you blend in the blocks, those blocks that blend in disappear. Only the ones that stick out or are oddly shaped are the ones that stay in the game. If you blend in, my friend, you disappear. It's simple game theory. Tetris. Blend in, disappear. So if you're the person that raises their hand and wishes to do the impossible, for example, you take on a difficult client and you actually succeed. You take on a difficult project and you actually succeed, and not deflect all of that work to other people just so that you then take the credit a little bit later on. Let me tell you something. You get noticed by people that are also in the same situation as your client. And you now get known for being the problem solver of the complex issues that your clients, are facing. So the next time a situation like that comes in, people know who exactly can help them. People know exactly who the painkiller is. And you most likely get on top of any list that you get up to if you decide to do the hard work. And guess what happens when you start getting all those accolades and people really supporting your growth? You become healthier. You can't do well if you don't feel well. It's a catch-22 process. Because when you take the easy way out of anything, how you do anything is how you do everything. You just slink through life. Have you ever seen the slinky? See, did you get that visual in your head? But it also, you start gaining all these health issues because you're just avoiding doing the hard work. You're avoiding lifting the heavy things. You're avoiding having the big conversations with your clients. You're avoiding making, healthy meals. For instance, if you choose to buy dinner out because it's easier than making dinner at home, you'll suffer from negative effects of just eating regular fast food. We all know that. Choosing the easy way, the most convenient way is not the best option for just about anything in life. How you do anything is how you do everything. Right now, I just really need you to understand that. If you choose to eat at home, take the extra time, prepare a healthy meal for your family, guess what? You will sit down with your family and enjoy that meal in such a way that you create healthier memories, and you are motivated to want to do it again and again and again. Now, can you imagine if you undertake a difficult client or a difficult subject? Your clients will, sit around and high five with you and get excited about the work that you've just done for them. And guess what? It creates that relationship, which means they're not going to be going away from you, because who else would have been able to help them with whatever problem that you just solved? And what does that do? You feel healthier. You're more energized. You want to get up and exercise. You want to get up and do more of the things that give you this certain joy, which not a lot of people are willing to do. Now you see, everything is connected. It doesn't necessarily mean you not wanting to do the hard things in your day-to-day life, would not translate to you identifying your target market and clarifying your message, because you got to do the hard work in order for that to happen. You will understand why I'm saying this to you today. It might not mean much right now, but once you start doing the hard work, once you start showing up, once you start becoming consistent, you become reliable. And people are out there seeking reliable and trusted advisors. And the more you apply yourself, you become smarter. And that's where the money comes in. Because if anyone can do it cheaper, better, faster, then why do I need to pay you for anything? Because another great thing about taking your time to do hard things is you become a whole lot smarter than anybody else who can me too whatever it is that you're doing. Let's not forget that our coaching, our consulting, our training, our information, our expertise can all be Googled. Somebody can Google that stuff and they don't need you anymore. But if you take time to solve a problem, to plan an event, it puts your mind into overdrive. You learn how to come up with great ideas, how to connect with people, how to leverage whatever you have. You start doing new tasks. You open up your mind to new concepts. Something you would have never learned by just taking the easy way out. So once you've got all of that in place, guess what happens? You become more productive. And the more productive you are, you become more valuable to your clients and your business. And that eventually makes you happier. Like, it's all full circle, right? Because let's start with the productivity. Because, the people that normally choose to do what nobody else wants to do are often very productive people. And you know what? Productivity is a, synonymous to success. So the people that are always doing things or work that is beyond what is expected of them, usually successful individuals, and they usually take charge. Do you know what I mean? And they get things done. Right? Just because it's hard, it doesn't mean it takes forever. Half of the time, it's just knowing what needs to be done, what next steps they are. And what then happens is you just learn to put your mind on the task at hand, and then you push through until you've completed that thing. And when you stand in front of the podium and people are congratulating you, you actually get valued. You start commanding, different fees, because many people will look up to you. Many people look up to those people that do the hard work. They look up to them as somebody they can depend on, somebody to look up to, and above all, somebody whose efforts they actually value. We get paid to in direct proportion to the value we bring to the marketplace. So if you want to be this person, do the hard things in life. And guess what then happens? If you are applying yourself, you're healthier, you become happier. Probably the most important reason why you should actually do the hard things in life is it will actually make you happier. Yes, you might sweat. Yes, you might shed a tear or so, but you will be happier. You will feel as though, you've accomplished something. And that's all we need in life. You've tried your hardest. You've put the effort that's needed. You've made a difference in your society, to your family. You've actually made something that never existed happen. It'll actually build your self-confidence, knowing that, when the going gets tough, you'll be equipped to handle whatever comes your way. And that's all we need as human beings, as coaches, consultants, or as business people. You know what I mean? The hard things in life can be whatever you think they are. It could be a conversation that needs to be taken with your spouse, with your clients, or with your employee or your team member, or maybe just getting up before sunrise to exercise, even if you want to sleep in, or maybe mowing your lawn every when the grass starts growing. All of these things will actually make a difference. When you help others, you essentially make yourself better, more valuable, more healthier, more happier, and you become fulfilled. And a fulfilled individual is a successful individual, which is basically what it is that we want anyway. So you might be wondering, why has this got to do with marketing or running a business or whatever it is? Let me tell you something. When you have a strategic plan to identify your target clients, to have a strategic message and have the best offer out there, you will create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. Right now, you're probably wondering why you got this message today. I'll let you figure that part out by yourself. But all I want you to know, and all I really wanted you to have an understanding of today, was that you just need to do the hard things in order for you to be happy, healthy, or successful, because the hard things ultimately build you up and change your life. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au